The branches that arise from the main root is called. Smart move. Lateral roots is an accurate answer. These roots are dash that they can be eaten as food. Strong choice. Edible is the right answer. Process of loosing water by the leaves is known as. Correct. Transpiration is the right answer. From which part of the plant do we get sweet potato? Nice selection. Root is the correct and valid answer. Which plants develop branches near the base of stem? Excellent. Shrubs is a brilliant choice. Which type of root system is present in grass plants? Well done. Fibrous root system is the right choice. Leaf in boiling dash in a water bath kills the leaf. Nice work. You chose ethanol and it is correct. The parts of a flower are usually present in whorls. You got it! Your choice true is right. In shrubs, branches arise from the base of the stem. On track. True is the correct answer. The plants having leaves with parallel venation have. You chose fibrous roots. And it is correct. Male reproductive parts of a flower is known as dash. Valid point. Stamen is true. Which one of the following is a non-flowering plant? Bravo. Fern is the answer. Which is the female reproductive organ of the flower? Perfect. Pistil is the correct choice. Which part of the plant is called its food factory? Well reasoned. Leaves is the correct choice. What are the two types of venation found in leaves? You're right. Parallel venation, reticulate venation is the correct answer. The processes of leaves letting out water is called. Correct response. Transpiration is the most accurate answer. The water is conducted throughout the plant by dash. Excellent choice. Roots is the right answer. The part of stem where a leaf arises is called dash. Well picked. Node is the correct answer. Plants with many woody stems but shorter than trees. Good job. Your answer shrubs works well here. Which part of the plant supplies water to the leaf? Good thinking. Stem is the right answer. After pollination, these become seeds of the fruit. Solid response. Eggs is a valid choice. The plants which have branches at the base are dash. Right choice. Shrubs is the best answer. From where does the roots get water and minerals? Right again. Soil is a valid answer. A plant uses air, water, and dash to make its food. Great thinking. Sunlight is the right choice, which helps in the entry and exit of gas exchange. Great job. Stomata is the accurate answer. Part of a flower which protects the budding flower. Sharp thinking. Sipple is the right choice. Which plant has reticulate venation in its leaves? Exactly. Marigold makes sense, and it is right choice. Each stamen consists of a thin, green stalk or dash. Smart pick. Filament is the correct choice. Two types of venation are parallel and reticulate. Clear logic. Your choice true is sound and 100% true. Which one of the following does not have branches? Nicely done. Coconut tree is a solid answer. Plants give out carbon dioxide and take in oxygen. Clear logic. Your choice false is sound and 100% true. Plants that take support and climb up are called. Smart move. Climbers is an accurate answer. Female reproductive part of a flower is called as. Valid point. Pistil is true. Which is the name of the female part of a flower? On track. Pistil is the correct answer. Classify neem in one of the categories of plants. You got it. Your choice tree is right. The arrangement of veins in a leaf is called dash. Exactly. Leaf venation makes sense, and it is right choice. The broad expanded part of a leaf is called dash. Right choice. Lamina is the best answer. The process of photosynthesis takes place in the. Nice selection. Leaves of the plant is the correct and valid answer. Stem not bears leaf, branches, fruit, flower, bud. Great thinking. False is the right choice. The small spores on the leaves are called stomata. Well reasoned. True is the correct choice. Design made by dash in a leaf is called venation. Correct response. Leaf venation is the most accurate answer. The roots are said to what the planter to the soil. Nicely done. Anchor is a solid answer. What is the process that plants use to make food? Perfect. Photosynthesis is the correct choice. The process of manufacturing food by the leaves. Excellent. Photosynthesis is a brilliant choice. The plant that grows towards the soil are called. Solid response. Geotropism is a valid choice. The parts that remain under the ground form dash. Great job. Root system is the accurate answer. Which of these can multiply through stem cutting? Good thinking. Rose is the right answer. The release of water by the leaves by the plants. You chose transpiration. And it is correct. What do leaves convert carbon dioxide plus water to? Well done. Oxygen plus glucose is the right choice. Plants having parallel venation have dash roots. Smart pick. Fibrous is the correct choice. Leaves prepare food for plants by the process of. Strong choice. Photosynthesis is the right answer. Gram and mustards are examples of fibrous roots. Well picked. False is the correct answer. Which of the following is not a part of a flower? Sharp thinking. Stomata is the right choice. The part of plant which prevents soil erosion is. Good job. Your answer roots works well here. Which part of the plant is called two-way street? Excellent choice. Stem is the right answer. Plants with reticulate venation have dash roots. Nice work. You chose tap and it is correct. Which of the following comes under shoot system? Bravo. All the above is the answer. Rose, pea, dahlia, and gram are some examples of. Right again. Taproot is a valid answer. The flat green part of the leaf is known as the. You're right. Both A and B is the correct answer.
Seeds are the modified dash after fertilization.
Correct. Eggs is the right answer. Plants which have branches above the ground are. Clear logic. Your choice trees is sound and 100% true. What is the connection of the stem and the leaf? Smart move. Node is an accurate answer. Plants which are big and strong are called dash. Well picked. Trees is the correct answer.
Pistil is female reproductive part of a flower.
Nice selection. True is the correct and valid answer.
Which two processes forms the fruits and seeds?
Right again. Pollination and fertilization is a valid answer. A stalk that connects the stigma and the ovary. Solid response. Style is a valid choice.
Dash is the part of the stem between two nodes.
Correct. Internode is the right answer. Name the dust-like particles present on anther. Exactly. Pollen grains make sense, and it is right choice. The pattern of veins on a leaf are called dash. Well done. Venation is the right choice.
Tiny pores on the surface of leaves are called.
You got it. Your choice, stomata, is right.
What is the male part of the flower is called? Smart pick. Stamens is the correct choice.
Which part of the plant is not always present? Strong choice. Fruit is the right answer.
Internode is the leafless portion of the stem.
Bravo. True is the answer.
Plants with green and tender stems are called.
Great job. Herbs is the accurate answer.
What two materials are used in photosynthesis? Excellent. Carbon dioxide and water is a brilliant choice.
Dash are tall plants with hard and woody stems. You chose trees, and it is correct.
Which do plants get most of their matter from?
You're right. Air is the correct answer. What is the pattern on the surface of the leaf? On track. Venation is the correct answer. In which form the food is stored in the leaves? Valid point. Starch is true. You can see brown scale like leaves on ginger. Good job. Your answer true works well here. Roots absorb water and minerals from the soil. Well reasoned. True is the correct choice.
What type of stem does a passion flower have?
Excellent choice. Weak stem is the right answer. A pigment in the leaf which absorbs sunlight. Nicely done. Chlorophyll is a solid answer. Evaporation of water from leaves is called as. Correct response. Transpiration is the most accurate answer. Ginger, onion, and garlic are some examples of. Good thinking. Underground stem is the right answer. What is the green pigment of the leaf called? Right choice. Chlorophyll is the best answer.
Plants that have soft, green and tender stem.
Sharp thinking. Herbs is the right choice.
The male reproductive part of the flower is. Nice work. You chose stamens, and it is correct. Iodine solution plus a dash equal to bluish black color. Great thinking. Starch is the right choice.
Which of these plants store food in its root?
Perfect. Carrot is the correct choice. There are about 250,000 types of flowers. Exactly. False makes sense, and it is right choice. Veins, mid-rib are the structures present in. Nice selection. Leaf is the correct and valid answer. Which part of the plant joins leaf and root?
Clear logic. Your choice stem is sound and 100% true.
Which of these are the two system of the plant?
On track. Root and shoot is the correct answer.
Dash is used by honeybees to prepare honey. Great thinking. Nectar from flowers is the right choice. What is the distance between two nodes called? Solid response. Internodes is a valid choice. This part of the plant grows towards gravity. Sharp thinking. Root is the right choice. The source of energy plants use to make food. Bravo. Sunlight is the answer. The roots of a plant are planted inside dash.
Strong choice. Soil is the right answer.
Stigma, style, and ovary are parts of pistil. Well done. True is the right choice. Dash is the building unit of the human body. You got it. Your choice cell is right. In which part of the flower is pollen found? Right choice. Anther is the best answer, which is a correct set of parts of a pistil. Nicely done. Ovary, style, stigma is a solid answer. Radishes and beetroots are supporting roots. Smart move. False is an accurate answer. Carrot, radish is example of modified roots.
Nice work. You chose true, and it is correct.
The innermost part of the flower is called. Excellent choice. Pistil is the right answer. What is the outer layer of the leaf called? Well picked. Leaf margin is the correct answer.
Very big, tall, and strong plants are called.
Correct response. Trees is the most accurate answer. The food prepared by leaf is in the form of. Perfect. Glucose is the correct choice. What is the middle line of the leaf called? Good job. Your answer, midrib, works well here. Branches arise at the base of the stem are. Smart pick. Shrubs is the correct choice. A tree has a soft trunk and soft branches. Right again. False is a valid answer. The net-like pattern on the leaf is called. Good thinking. Reticulate vegetation is the right answer. After pollination, ovary and ovule becomes. Valid point. Fruit and seed is true. Stem is considered to be a one-way street. Well reasoned. False is the correct choice.
The swollen part of the pistil is the dash.
Excellent. Ovary is a brilliant choice.
The broad green part of the leaf is called.
Correct. Lamina is the right answer. Parallel venation has which kind of roots?
You're right. Fibrous roots is the correct answer.
There are dash main types of root systems.
You chose 2, and it is correct.
The shape and size of all leaves are dash.
Great job. Different is the accurate answer.
Its base is slightly structure called the. Well reasoned. Ovary is the correct choice.
Dash is the innermost part of the flower.
Well picked. Pistil is the correct answer.
Leaves lose water through the process of.
Correct. Transpiration is the right answer. A mango plant comes under which category?
Right choice. Trees is the best answer.
A tomato plant has stems of which color?
Exactly. Green makes sense, and it is right choice. Plants synthesize food by the process of.
Smart move. Photosynthesis is an accurate answer. The male part of flower is called stamen. Excellent. True is a brilliant choice. The root in which all the roots seem same. Nicely done. Fibrous root is a solid answer. The biggest flower Rafflesia smells like. Solid response. Rotten meat is a valid choice. 3 main things plants need to survive.
Correct response. Sunlight, air, water is the most accurate answer. Trees die within a day. Say true or false. Perfect. False is the correct choice. Type of venation in leaves with a taproot. You got it. Your choice reticulate is right. Which of the following has fibrous root?
Smart pick. Wheat is the correct choice.
What are the 2 main parts of a plant? Well done. Root and shoot is the right choice. How many types of root system are there? Valid point. 2 is true.
What root does a parallel venation have?
Excellent choice. Fibrous root is the right answer.
Underground storage house is referred to. Clear logic. Your choice storage roots is sound and 100% true.
A typical floweret has a stalk called the. Bravo. Pedicel is the answer.
What are the small, tiny lines on a leaf?
Right again. Veins is a valid answer.
The most attractive part of the plant is?
Good job. Your answer flower works well here. What type of roots do wheat plants have? On track, fibrous roots is the correct answer.
Roots hold the plant firmly in the soil.
Nice selection. True is the correct and valid answer. The food prepared by leaves is stored as? Sharp thinking. Starch is the right choice.
For photosynthesis, green plants require.
Nice work. You chose all of the above, and it is correct. A wheat plant belongs to the category of. Great job. Herb is the accurate answer. Which one of the following is a creeper? You chose watermelon, and it is correct.
Taproot system doesn't have cap its tip.
Strong choice. False is the right answer. Which part of the plant hold it upright?
Great thinking. Stem is the right choice.
A seed contains a baby plant called dash.
You're right. Embryo is the correct answer.
Trees are short plants with soft stems. Good thinking. False is the right answer. Male reproductive parts of a plant dash. On track. Anther and filament is the correct answer. Part 1. Which do all plants need to grow?
Strong choice. Air is the right answer.
Petals and stamens in a flower is equal. Good job. Your answer false works well here. What are the 3 parts of the pistil? Right choice. Stigma, style, ovary is the best answer. Dash is the lowermost part of a pistil. Well picked. Ovary is the correct answer. What are the 3 categories of plants?
Excellent. Herbs, shrubs, trees is a brilliant choice. The design made by the leaves is called.
You chose veins, and it is correct. The fruit of a plant usually comes from. Clear logic. Your choice flower is sound and 100% true. Black pepper don't have climbing roots. Correct response. False is the most accurate answer. Pick out the plant with modified roots. Correct. Banyan is the right answer. Is sweet potato a climber or a creeper? Nicely done. Creeper is a solid answer. Female parts of the flower are known as. Perfect. Pistil is the correct choice. Plants which need a support to grow are. Good thinking. Climbers is the right answer. Which of the following is not a climber? You got it. Your choice money plant is right. Dash contains food for the baby plant. Well reasoned. Cotyledons is the correct choice. If we remove the petals, we can see the. Right again. Stamens is a valid answer. Roots help in preventing soil erosion.
Well done. True is the right choice.
Which one has a different root system? Valid point. Grass is true. A leaf has a green pigment called dash. Nice selection. Chlorophyll is the correct and valid answer. Design made by the veins on the leaves. Nice work. You chose leaf venation and it is correct. Fruits, flowers, leaves are present on. Excellent choice. Stem is the right answer. What are the 2 types of pollination? Exactly. Self and cross makes sense, and it is right choice. Plants which spread on the ground are. Sharp thinking. Creepers is the right choice. Carpel is the dash part of the flower. You're right. Female is the correct answer. Lemon tree belongs to which category? Smart move. Shrub is an accurate answer. The short tube-like upper part called. Solid response. Style is a valid choice. Herbs have soft, green, and dash a stem.
Bravo. Weak is the answer.
Pick out examples of taproot system.
Great thinking. Mango pin and is the right choice.
Which plant is the example of a herb? Great job. Wheat is the accurate answer.
Lamina is flat green portion of leaf. Smart pick. True is the correct choice. Cucumber dash. Money plant climber.
Smart move. Creeper is an accurate answer. The female part of the flower is dash. Excellent. Pistil is a brilliant choice.
Plants that bears flowers are called.
Bravo. Flowering plants is the answer. The root which goes deep in the soil. Well reasoned. Tap root is the correct choice.
Plants such as dash can store water.
On track. Cactus. Jade is the correct answer. Dash allows water to enter the seed. Correct. Pour is the right answer.
An example of an underground stem is
Right again. Ginger is a valid answer. Pollen grains are produced in dash. Right choice. Anthers is the best answer.
auxiliary buds are parts of flowers.
Perfect. False is the correct choice.
What are the agents of pollination? Exactly. Insects, wind and water make sense, and it is right choice.
An example of modified root is the dash.
Well picked. Turnip is the correct answer. What kind of plant is a rose plant? Smart pick. Shrub is the correct choice.
Thick and woody stem is called dash.
Correct response. Trunk is the most accurate answer. Plants need dash for photosynthesis.
Sharp thinking. Carbon dioxide is the right choice.
Flower has a stalk, which is called. Good thinking. Pedicle is the right answer.
A plant body is divided into system.
You chose both, and it is correct. What are the types of leaf venation?
You got it. Your choice too is right.
Where are xylem and phloem present? Solid response. Veins is a valid choice. How many kinds of plants are there? Strong choice. 3 is the right answer. What is the green pigment in leaves? Great job. Chlorophyll is the accurate answer.
Which plants are not called herbs?
Excellent choice. Sunflower is the right answer.
Leaves have a green pigment called. Good job. Your answer, chlorophyll, works well here.
Which of these is a modified leaf? Clear logic. Your choice spines is sound and 100% true.
Parallel venation is not found in.
You're right. Ficus religiosa is the correct answer.
What are the 4 parts of the flower?
Well done. Stamen, pistil, sepals, petal is the right choice. The arrangement of veins on a leaf. Nicely done. Venation is a solid answer. These attract pollinating insects. Valid point. Flowers is true.
Monocot plants has.
Nice selection. Fibrous root is the correct and valid answer.
Is a lemon tree about your height?
Nice work. You chose true and it is correct.
The part of leaf attached to stem.
Great thinking. Peachole is the right choice.
All plants have colorful flowers. On track. False is the correct answer. A pigment in the leaves are called smart move. Chlorophyll is an accurate answer. What word means start to grow? Right again. Germinate is a valid answer.
The uppermost part of the pedicel. Exactly. Thalamus makes sense and it is right choice.
The pattern of veins on the leaf.
You chose venation, and it is correct. What does a plant need from soil? Strong choice. Nutrients is the right answer.
What are the two parts of stamen? Excellent. Anther, filament is a brilliant choice.
There are dash types of venation.
Great job.
2 is the accurate answer.
Habitat for terrestrial plants is smart pick. Land is the correct choice.
Which roots are easy to pull out?
Valid point. Fibrous roots is true.
The green part of the leaf is the excellent choice. Lamina is the right answer.
Reproductive part of the plant is
good thinking. Flower is the right answer. There are 2 divisions of a plant. Well done. True is the right choice. What are the 2 types of roots?
You're right. Taproot, fibrous root is the correct answer.
Parts above the ground form dash.
Good job. Your answer chute system works well here.
Stalk of the flower are known as sharp thinking. Pedicel is the right choice.
What helps in cooling the leaves? Bravo.
Transpiration is the answer.
The root absorbs water from the
Correct. Soil is the right answer.
the flat green part on the leaf. Right choice. Lamina is the best answer.
Lines on the leaves are called nicely done. Veins is a solid answer.
What is a central vein of leaf?
Well picked. Midrib is the correct answer.
What is taproot system called?
Nice selection. Primary root system is the correct and valid answer. Another name for carpet is dash.
Well reasoned. Pistil is the correct choice.
The primary root is called dash.
You got it. Your choice taproot is right.
Which is an example of a shrub?
Great thinking. Lemon is the right choice.
With a bag-like head is called
Correct response. Anther is the most accurate answer.
A plant with weak stem is dash. Nice work. You chose mint, and it is correct.
Grape is an example of a tree. Clear logic. Your choice false is sound and 100% true.
Which is not a part of a leaf?
Solid response. Nodes is a valid choice.
stem bud have 3 categories?
Perfect. False is the correct choice. The examples of fibrous roots. Correct. All the above is the right answer.
Middle vein of a leaf is dash. You got it? Your choice midrib is right.
Dash protects the baby flower? Clear logic. Your choice sepal is sound and 100% true. The smaller roots are called
Sharp thinking. Lateral roots is the right choice.
the flat green part is called
Valid point. Lamina is true.
stalk of the leaf is known as
Nice work. You chose Pichol and it is correct.
Photosynthesis can be seen in Smart pick. Green plants is the correct choice.
which one has a fibrous root?
Well reasoned. Wheat is the correct choice.
Any living thing is called an well picked. Organism is the correct answer.
Stomata is found in the dash. Nicely done. Leaves is a solid answer. Is questions are easy or hard? Solid response. Very easy is a valid choice.
The stem of tomato plant is
Exactly. Tender makes sense and it is right choice. Ovary is a part of stamens?
Great job. False is the accurate answer. Stalk of the leaf is called
Well done. Pitchall is the right choice.
What roots have banyan tree? Right choice. Prop roots is the best answer.
Why plants important for us?
Correct response. All of these is the most accurate answer.
the main root is called the
Strong choice. Tap root is the right answer.
photosynthesis made by leaf.
Good job. Your answer true works well here.
Habitat for hydrophytes is
Right again. Water is a valid answer.
potato is actually an dash.
Bravo. Underground stem is the answer.
Ginger is actually an dash.
On track. Underground stem is the correct answer.
Next to the sepals are the
Nice selection. Petals is the correct and valid answer.
The 3 parts of pistil are
excellent. Style, stigma, ovary is a brilliant choice. Which of these are herbs?
Good thinking. Wheat is the right answer.
in root nodes are present.
Perfect. False is the correct choice.
What does stem consist of?
You're right. Node, internode, axial, but is the correct answer.
Stem is a two-way traffic.
Excellent choice. True is the right answer.
They are usually 1 high.
Smart move.
Herbs is an accurate answer.
Coriander or dania is a
Great thinking. Herb is the right choice.
The spines of cactus are
You chose modified leaves, and it is correct.
Roots are of dash types.
Valid point. 2 is true.
Examples of climbers are
Great job. Pea plant and grapevine is the accurate answer.
male parts of the flower.
Right choice. Stamen is the best answer.
Which of them is a root? You got it. Your choice carrot is right. Pumpkin plant is a dash.
Right again. Creeper is a valid answer.
Middle-sized plants are.
You're right. Shrubs is the correct answer.
A cactus is modified too. Well done. Make food is the right choice. Herbs have dash stems.
Smart pick. Short and tender is the correct choice.
Grows towards sunlight. Good thinking. Stem is the right answer. Radical a part of seed. Bravo, true is the answer. Wheat is an example of. Sharp thinking. Herb is the right choice. The anther consists of. Excellent. Pollen grains is a brilliant choice. Potato is a stem plant. Excellent choice. True is the right answer. Grape is an example of. Well picked. Climber is the correct answer. Herbs are dash plants.
Smart move. Small is an accurate answer.
Lemon plant is a dash. Good job. Your answer shrub works well here. Ferns are what plants? Solid response. Non-flowering is a valid choice. What a strawberry is. Nicely done. Creeper is a solid answer. Watermelon plant is a. Correct. Creeper is the right answer. A pistil consists of. Nice work. You chose ovary, style, and stigma, and it is correct. The above it is the. You chose stigma, and it is correct. The stem transports. Great thinking. All of the options is the right choice. Example for bulb is.
Clear logic. Your choice onion is sound and 100% true.
Example of taproot. Perfect. Rose is the correct choice. Biggest flower is. On track. Rafflesia is the correct answer. A banana tree is a. Correct response. Herb is the most accurate answer. Dash is a herb. Well reasoned. Mint is the correct choice. How is your game? Nice selection. Excellent is the correct and valid answer. What is a herb?
Exactly. None of these make sense, and it is right choice.
Calyx is a.
Strong choice. Collection of sepals is the right answer.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format. Excellent. Contact Narayan Chengder on Facebook is a brilliant choice.